All right, hello everybody. Welcome to our Thursday evening Sip and Sew Live. I'm Kelsey from Just Sew, and today, as you can see, we're going to be talking about some ironing tips. Okay, so this live is actually pre-recorded, which means that I can't interact with you in the comments. So I just wanted to put together a couple tips real quick because I am out of town this week, but I wanted to make sure we just started doing Thursday lives and I didn't want to have to cancel one right away or anything. So I wanted to put together a fun show for you guys of a couple tips plus a sale. So as you watch this video, keep in mind that at justsewstudio.com, starting right now, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a lot of our ironing products on our website are going to be 15% off, and that's valid all the way through tomorrow, Friday the 14th. So if you'd like to get any of the products that I mentioned today, they're all going to be 15% off, and I will remind you of that as we keep going on here. So today's not going to be a super long live, but I thought that I would give you guys a fun sale and a couple tips. So, first of all, welcome to my new sewing nook. I'm so excited. I just put up all my thread on the wall here. And then this is a wall hanging from a kit that we had a while ago, and I've never had a place to hang it up, so I'm very excited. I'm not going to be sewing anything for you guys today. I did a little bit of prep so that I have some stuff to show you guys. And then as we move through some of these tips, I'll be sure to tell you what's going to be discounted and everything like that. So, all right, I have here set up, this is my wool ironing mat and my Mighty Travel iron. This is a mini iron. These are two of my must-have ironing products because I always have them right next to my sewing machine. It was easier for me to film here in front of you guys, but normally I do have everything right here at the right side of my sewing machine, and that is where I do all the tips I'm going to show you guys today. So I highly suggest, if you don't have one of these already, I'm sure a lot of you already have one, but if you don't already have one, make sure you grab one. The wool mats and the mini irons are both 15% off through January 14th tomorrow. So that's going to be my first thing, is make sure you have a little portable ironing station. We have these large, I believe this is 14 inches square, and then we also have a smaller one. And I do like to have both because the smaller one fits in my Mega Dream bag here, so I can travel with it easily. And this actually reminds me, one quick announcement is that next week on Thursday, the 20th, the live is going to be a sew-along of a Mega Dream bag. And I just love this bag. It is the perfect size for traveling, for taking all my stuff, for organizing it. It zips up into this handy bag with a really wide base. And then when you're just staying at home, you can open it up and turn down the sides, and it just kind of sits here, and it's my sewing companion. I always have my Mega Dream bag with me. If I'm ever going to sew anywhere, I know that everything I need is in here. So that's going to be next week. Is actually this Thursday live is going to be a sew along for this bag. If you watched the Wednesday live yesterday, we had the pattern and some kits available. If you did not watch that, you can still, if we still have some in stock, because this is pre-recorded and I'm currently filming this on Sunday, so I don't know how many of them we're going to sell. But if you're interested, then just send us a Facebook message and ask if we still have any patterns or kits available. You could also look for the pattern on our website, again, justsewstudio.com, but the kit is not on the website. So if you want to see if we have any more kits available, you can just send us a Facebook message. But you don't technically need the kit, you just need the pattern, and then you can put together stuff from your stash. So whichever way you would like to use that, make sure that next week you're all prepared for the sew along next week. So I'm also going to be posting, I might have you guys cut stuff out ahead of time, so I'll be posting any announcements about that on Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. But anyways, the mini wool ironing mat does fit in my Mega Dream bag, so that's a fun size to have as well. Okay, so I'm going to get into my first tip here. My first tip I have all chain stitch together the first step of some flying geese pieces. So I have the rectangles with the squares sewn diagonally, and you might notice that with flying geese or half square triangles, you're usually making a lot of them depending on the pattern that you're using. And so I always like to chain stitch mine together with the square on one side, and then I cut the corner off and press it, and then I sew the next side on. So I'm just going to do that first step for you guys here. These are such basic tips. You guys might already do these, but it's just so natural to me. I thought maybe some people haven't thought of this, so I thought I'd show you. Okay, so usually what I do when I'm putting together a bunch of flying geese, I chain stitch them together, and then when I'm ready to press, you know, you always cut your corner off 1/4 of an inch away from your stitches, and then I turn it under and I press towards the corner. So I'm going to put this down here, press towards the corner, and then this is the part that might make some of you cringe. I leave my iron there, and I get my next one ready. And the reason that this is like an ironing tip for me is because I feel like it saves time. Maybe it doesn't, I'm not sure, but I'm always trying to do things as fast as possible just because that's how I am, that's how I like to do it. And so I leave my iron on top of like a stack of 4 to 6 at a time, while I cut my corner off of the flying geese, open it up, and then I pick up my iron, put this on the stack, press toward, and when I'm pressing towards the corner, I am tugging just a little bit to put a little bit of tension here so that it doesn't accidentally create a fold where I don't want it. So I just put the iron on the blue rectangle part, slightly pull on the corner, and press towards the corner. And that's it. I mean, honestly, such a simple little tip there, but I find it does save me a little bit of time instead of like cutting all of them and then I press and I'm waiting and then I put it to the side, if that makes sense. By the time I've cut all of them, and then I just hold this last one here for a second, and then I have all of these ready. So I hope that helps you guys save a little bit of time. This also works for half square triangles. So anything that you do like the little stitch and flip on the corner for, that's usually what I do that method with. So that's my flying geese, my first tip there. And so that uses the iron and the wool mat. As a reminder, if people are hopping on here just now, this is a pre-recorded live, so I can't interact with you guys in the comments, unfortunately. But if you do have any questions, you can comment it, and I'll be going back over later and I'll respond to your comment. Also, all the products that I'm mentioning today are 15% off through Friday the 14th. That includes the iron, the mat, and then the stuff I'm about to show you guys. So make sure you head over to our website to take advantage of that sale. One of the products that is 15% off is this really cute ironing board cover. It's scissors and little thread snips. It's by Ruby Star, and it's like a tan background with little white fabric clippings. So this is also included in that 15% off sale if you need a fresh new ironing board cover. I am in desperate need of a new ironing board cover, but I'm waiting because we're going to be getting some Bonnie and Camille ones in the next couple of months, and that matches my sewing room a little bit more. So I'm going to be getting that one. But I do really, really love this with the scissors and the thread snips and the neutral color palette. So anyways, if you wanted to grab one of those, that's also available on our website, 15% off this evening through tomorrow. Okay, my next tip for you guys, here I have a piece of fabric that has been just folded up and pressed down in a pile of scraps for a long time. And so what I'm about to show you works on anything that has, it works on anything. It works on fabric that has been folded forever. It works on the fabric fold when you get it off the bolt, anything like that. So usually I like to pair this, actually why don't I go ahead and do that? I like to pair this with my steam iron, just because that really works out those folds. So I'm going to go ahead and plug my steam iron in. Well, I actually don't have any water in that. I didn't think about that ahead of time, so I'm not going to do that. But if you do this with a steam iron, or if you like to put, you can put water in this and make this steam as well, then that just adds a lot more power to this. But So you can see how creased my fabric is. So I like to use flatter when I'm working out really tough folds. Flatter is not a starch, it's just a fabric flattener. That's why it's called flatter, to get your fabric flat. And I just love the experience of using flatter because it smells so good. We have lots of different scents. All of our scents are included in the 15% off sale, and so is this misting bottle. Lots of you guys might be familiar with this misting bottle. Lots of hairdressers use it as well. It gives you such a nice even spray that what I do is I take my flatter and I pour it into here, and I use that to spray my fabric, and it just sprays it so evenly. But this also does come with a squirt bottle. That's pretty nice as well. So I'm almost out of this, and when I'm out of it, I'm going to replace it with the pineapple scent. I'm really excited about that. It smells so good. It smells like a pina colada. Okay, so all I'm going to do is like spray my fabric. And the times that I use flatter the most is when I'm working out these really hard creases, especially when paired with a steam iron. And also when I finished a block and I really want to get all of those seams really pressed down. You guys can see I'm working on this quilt that uses really tiny blocks and seams. And at the end of all of them, I like to, I press as I go, obviously. But at the end of each of these blocks, I like to spray some flatter on it and really just spray or steam it down. And it gets them really nice and flat here. So there's that. I'm going to show you guys. So far, I have that corner, and you can't see any of the creases at all. So this is the corner I just did. So you can see the difference. It's really nice. Make sure that you, if you do use flatter, this is a great time already, then this is a great time to stock up. Grab a little discount on there. And you don't want to run out of this stuff. And what's also fun about flatter is you can use it as a gift for anybody, because everyone irons something, right? Their clothes or their dress shirts or anything like that. So flatter is really, really nice. You can see the difference between the unironed and the ironed here. Okay, so that is my second tip. If you want to get that flatter for 15% off, here's the link to our website. Okay. And then my last tip for you guys is when you have your chain piecing. The other nice thing about wool, I'm about to show you this wool pressing bar as well as the wool ironing mats. What wool does is it absorbs the heat, so it's almost like pressing your fabric from both sides, which is why even if I have an ironing board out, I only really use it when I'm doing really, really long seams. Otherwise, I always do it, all my pressing on the wool mat, because it absorbs the heat, especially if you're using steam. I don't always use steam, but if you do, it's like pressing your fabric from both sides. So here I have chain stitched just 2 half square triangles together that I now need to press open. When you're pressing your seams open, sometimes that can be kind of hard to get your fingers in there. One nifty tool that we are actually out of right now, so I couldn't show you guys that today, but they do have, we'll be buying more in the future, heat resistant thimbles for you to wear when you're pressing and you want your fingers to be really, really close to the iron so that you don't burn yourself. So that's another thing that you could grab if you don't already have those. So what I'm doing is I'm just opening up my blocks here over this wool pressing bar, and because it's made out of wool, it's going to give this a nice crisp, fresh press. And I'm just opening up my seams as I go. And I do like to do the pressing before I clip my pieces, my chain stitching apart, just because I think it makes it a little easier to handle it when it's all together, and then I'll press it afterwards. And when you're pressing these on the bar, you're almost pressing them not just open, but in that like extra open, you know, so it's extra flat when you're done. And it's also easier to get your fingers in there to open up seams when you're doing it on this bar than when it's flat. So Now I'm just gonna snip these apart. And I have them all opened, and they're just super flat. You could even spray flatter on everything that you do. It's not going to hurt it. It doesn't shrink up the fabric kind of like starch will, which reminds me, Best Press, if you like using that as your starch, it's like a lavender scented starch. That's included also in our 15% off sale. So if you'd like to stock up on some Best Press, now is the good time too. I don't use starch a ton just because I like to use the flatter. It doesn't like add any shrinkage, but if you use starch for your quilting or really anything else, this is also a good time to stock up on that. My grandma really likes to use Best Press. But the flatter you could really use on anything. So I like to use it on the finished blocks or when I'm pressing really hard creases out, but you could use it on all of your seams if you wanted to. So that's just a quick little tip there as well. All right, so that's really all I have for you guys today. I know that this was a little bit quicker, and I'm sorry I couldn't interact in the comments, but I wanted to make sure I did get a video out there. Make sure that you tune in next week for the Mega Dream Bag Sew Along, and make sure that you have that pattern and all of the items that you'll need for that. I don't have the pattern with me, but I know that you need 2.5 yards of SF 101, which is Shape Flex, and then you need a 1/2 yard of fusible fleece, and we have both of those items. If you just want to use your stash, but you need those interfacings, they're available on our website as well, justsewstudio.com. So if you wanted to add any of that to your ironing order, you could go ahead and do that as well. And then you can also see on our website, you'll be able to, if the Mega Dream Bag pattern is out of stock, it won't be on our website, or it'll say sold out. So you'll find out that way if we have any more patterns left. But thank you so much, guys, for watching this week. I'm really excited about these Thursday lives. I do love teaching, and classes are just really hard to organize these days. I feel like everything's getting canceled and I don't have really any teachers, and so this is a great way for me to be able to teach little things and interact with you guys in a fun way once a week. I hope you enjoyed my couple little small tips and that you take advantage of our 15% off discount. A quick note too, because we are out of town, we're coming back on Monday. So if you place any online orders, those will all get filled on Monday instead of tomorrow. So thank you for your patience with that as well. And I'll see you guys either on our Wednesday live next week or next Thursday to sew the Mega Dream Bag. Bye.